The NFL playoffs are upon us, and this weekend is wildcard weekend. We've got 4 good matchups this week. Before I get to my predictions, though, I do want to address that if you want to see my playoff power ranking / playoff assessment, I will put the link to that in the description box down below. So if you haven't seen it yet and want to, look for it in the description box down below. I kind of give out my rankings on who I think has the best chance of winning Super Bowl 54, going all the way to who I think has absolutely no chance of becoming Super Bowl champions this season. So let's get to my wild card predictions. And our first matchup in wild card weekend is the Buffalo Bills and the Houston Texans. The way I see this game playing out, this game kind of reminds me, believe it or not, it reminds me of a playoff matchup 2 years ago that featured the Buffalo Bills and the Jacksonville Jaguars. The Buffalo Bills are coming into this playoff right now with the exact mantra that the Bills had in that playoff game 2 years ago, where the defense is keeping them in games, and sometimes the defense is winning them games, and an offense that just looks lackluster. And this could be the same case again for this Bills team. While the Texans, they look pretty inconsistent at times throughout this season. 1 week the Texans beat the Patriots and shock everybody, and then they get blown out by teams like the Ravens 41-7. So this is a really tough game to call, but it could be a little bit easier than that. I think that this is going to be a game where both defenses are going to keep their teams in the game from start to finish. I think this game is going to be a very low scoring game. Not an extreme like 6-3 type of game, but I think it's going to be 17-13 in favor of the Houston Texans. While the Texans are inconsistent of a team, the Texans are consistent at one thing: winning in wildcard weekend and just playing abysmal in the divisional round. I think that's going to be the same case again. I just think that this Bills team, while their defense can keep them in games, I just don't know if the offense will be able to finish this game for the Bills. Because we've seen that. The Patriots, twice. The Bills defense has kept the Bills in it, but the Bills offense struggles when it needs to perform. And I think it's going to be the same case again. I'm going to take the Texans to win 17-13. Next, we have what I think is going to be the best matchup of Wild Card Weekend: the Minnesota Vikings and the New Orleans Saints, a rematch of the Minnesota Miracle, which happened the last time these two teams played each other in the playoffs. So the way I see this game playing out is, on one side you have Kirk Cousins, who really doesn't perform in big games and can't perform when it matters. And on the other side, you have a Saints team that is playing very angry throughout this season, knowing that they were so close to reaching the Super Bowl last year, and arguably they probably could have been there because of if they would have called that pass interference. However, this Saints team, I think this is a Saints team out for vengeance. While I think the Vikings are going to keep this game close, I just think the Saints, they definitely want this. They know exactly what they got to do to get to the Super Bowl, and I think they're going to do that. I think the Saints I think it's going to be a very high-scoring game, surprisingly, because we've seen the Saints defense give up quite a bit of points in some games. While this Saints defense, it's a pretty decent defense, it still sometimes on occasion gives up a lot of points. But I just think there's a lot more playoff experience on this Saints side than there is on the Vikings side. And I'm going to pick the Saints to win by a score of 41-31. I think it's going to be that high scoring of a game. And on to the Sunday wildcard matchups: the Tennessee Titans and the New England Patriots. The Titans are coming in off a Week 17 victory against division rival the Houston Texans. They won their way in. And the Patriots, they're coming off a loss to the Dolphins in the waning seconds of that matchup, ultimately the reason why they're here this weekend. Now, this is very unfamiliar territory for the Patriots. For the first time since 2009, the Patriots will be competing in Wild Card Weekend. For the Titans, you have a running game led by the leading rusher in the National Football League this season in Derrick Henry. While the Patriots' offense has looked lackluster throughout these last couple of weeks, there comes a time where the Patriots, they know when to turn it on. And when they need to turn it on is right now. Even though I don't know if we can take this Patriots team seriously, we can never doubt the Patriots because every single year we ask the same question, and it's feeling like a broken record at this point. Is the Patriots dynasty over? We always think it is, but then moments later, we see the Patriots dominating in the playoffs. And I think this is going to happen again. However, I think the Titans will be able to stay in this game from start to finish. I think they're going to be able to utilize Derrick Henry and take pretty long, solid drives to keep Tom Brady and the Patriots off the field. While I think this game is close, I just think the Patriots will win at the very end. Now I'm picking New England to win a surprisingly close game by a score of 31-27. I think the Titans will be in there for that long, but at the end, it's just the experience of the Patriots that will be the difference in this matchup. In our final wild card weekend matchup, the Seattle Seahawks and the Philadelphia Eagles. And this is a game that can and probably will go either way. Now, the last time we saw these two teams play each other in the regular season, the Eagles' defense was keeping the Eagles in this matchup from start to finish. They did all they could, but their offense just struggled throughout the entire game. And right now, both these teams are coming in with very significant injuries. For Seattle, Chris Carson, your starting running back, is out for the season. However, the bright side to it is they did add Marshawn Lynch to this roster for a playoff run, so he has fresh legs this season, which is a huge advantage. At the same time, it's a disadvantage because they don't have the reps, but at the same time, they do have fresh legs. While the Eagles, once again, for the third year in a row, the Eagles are coming into the playoffs with a pretty banged up roster and significant injuries to their team. Right now, we have on the Eagles Alshon Jeffrey, Deshaun Jackson, Zach Ertz, Miles Sanders, all banged up at this point on that Eagles offense. But the Eagles are still managing to win games. They're coming in winning 4 games in a row, even though it's just against the NFC East. Just those wins, it gives you confidence going into the playoffs, knowing that you can win games. Because sometimes it's just about being there that gives you a chance of hoisting the Lombardi Trophy. Now, the way I see this game playing out is some would say that the Seahawks have an easy game in this playoff against the Eagles. Sure, you can think that, but I think this Eagles will once again be able to be in this game, just like in the regular season matchup. They'll be able to stay in it from start to finish. At the end, though, I think it could be the same result. I think this game is going to be very low scoring as well, just like we saw. It was 17-9 in the regular season. I think we're going to see a score almost similar to that, but not exactly. I think this Eagles team will make a couple plays this time that will give them a better chance of winning this game. But in the end, I just think Russell Wilson will make a play in this game to be a huge difference in this ball game. And I'm going to pick the Seahawks to win a low-scoring game of 14-13. I think it's going to be a 1-point game. I think it's going to be one of those moments where Russell Wilson throws the game-winning touchdown, the go-ahead touchdown, with less than a minute and a half to go, and the Eagles offense won't be able to get down the field into field goal range in time. So I'm taking the Seahawks to win 14-13. So those are my wild card weekend predictions. Comment your picks down below, like, share, and subscribe, and I will see you next time.